Hello again. So you might remember ages ago I put in this solar power, and it was kind of a bit hurried. I just sort of whomped it on the roof and made a very knackered little fuse box. A little bit artistic rather than functional. Anyway, so I've been upgrading. So now we have a proper fuse box with an isolator switch, and it's fused and everything's all channeled away. Still a piece to put across the top. And the other thing I've been playing with, I've been hacking my inverter. So there's a way to get data out of the inverter to see how much power you've got, but it's a bit of a weird protocol and you have to buy all the software for it, and yeah, it doesn't really do what I want. So yeah, a USB cable and a bit of code in Perl, and I can now slurp data out of this inverter once a second. So if anyone's interested in that, I'll put the code up somewhere and link to it in the description. Yeah, so hacking this thing, you need to be able to monitor the USB port. So Wireshark's good for that if you're running Linux. I have a little bit of code running here. And let's just stop it. So this here is it talking USB, and this bit here is the actual command it sends. And this is a kind of a standard. You send it a text string, which is these bytes, QPIDS. Then it sends a checksum, which is a bit of a pain to sort out. That's a CRC16 X modem checksum, so that's 2 bytes. And then you send a carriage return character. And it's USB, so you can only send things in chunks of 8 bytes to this device. And then it returns data. Again, you've got like a header here with all of the USB things in it. And then the data starts, and it comes at you in 8-byte chunks. Always starts with an open parenthesis, and then it's just ASCII numbers. So the next one in will be that, and then that. You see, there's more data coming in. So all I had to do was write that in Perl. There was a nasty little piece of software I found which will query it, but it's segment faults. So it's, you know, probably a bit old and got a bit of byte rot in it. And I like Perl. You know, Perl's nice and simple. So I'll show you what we've got. You load up enough bits here so I can calculate a checksum and talk to a HID device, which is USB. You summon it, and mine's using a Cypress USB to serial. And all I've got it doing now at the moment is send the QPIGS command, which is give me your data, and then read it. And reading it is basically you set a timeout, you listen on the port, you read it until timeout, and then that's what you get. And you have to read in 8 bytes at a time. Writing it is a little more complicated, which is this. You take your command, which is just ASCII. You have to calculate the checksum. This is a little fiddly. There's parameters here to get the right checksum produced. And then you have to, this bit writes it to the port, and this bit packages the data. So you've got the command followed by 2 hex bytes of the checksum followed by a return character. And really that's just it. It doesn't have to be more complicated. When you run it, you can see here, this is the data coming in. if you see these last 3 bytes here, it's going to scroll off. This is it gives a carriage return. There are 2 bytes at the end there just before it with a checksum in it. And it always starts with an open parenthesis. So you can just scan that string and pull all your parameters out. It can poll the inverter once a second and it gets all the parameters out of it. And then you can do something, you know, a little bit more interesting with it. Anyway, yeah, code's going to be on the site.